Elon Musk is not just a household name, he's a blueprint for a new kind of entrepreneur. Before Tesla and SpaceX, Musk made a series of bold, unconventional choices that set him apart from the myth. His early years were defined by treating scarcity not as a limitation but as a design constraint. This video explores the deliberate strategies, bootstrap ventures, and structural thinking that shaped Musk's rise. We'll uncover how he built without a safety net, why he embraced risk, and what lessons his journey holds for today's founders. Let's dive into the playbook of Audacity. 1995, Musk arrived in Silicon Valley with just $2,000, no connections, and a vision. He and his brother Kimball launched Zip2, a city guide and mapping service for newspapers. They lived frugally, sleeping in the office, showering at the YMCA, and sharing a single computer. This wasn't about hustle for its own sake. Musk's approach was to minimize costs and maximize the time to viability. By targeting an industry desperate for digital credibility, Zip2 secured paying customers early. When Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million, Musk walked away with $22 million, not because Zip2 was revolutionary but because it was functional at the right moment. Most would have taken their millions and settled into comfort. Not Musk. He poured nearly all his Zip2 earnings into his next venture, XCOM, which would become PayPal. Entering the online financial services sector meant facing tough regulations and entrenched competitors, but Musk saw the high barrier to entry as a moat, filtering out casual competition. This counterintuitive logic paid off. PayPal's sale to eBay netted Musk around $180 million. Instead of cashing out, he treated this windfall as working capital for his next big bets, showing a relentless willingness to risk it all for bigger visions. 2002, Musk founded SpaceX to challenge the costly, slow-moving aerospace industry. His insight: the high prices weren't due to physics but to institutional inefficiencies. SpaceX manufactured 85% of its components in-house, breaking away from expensive supplier networks. This vertical integration nearly bankrupted the company after 3 failed launches, but the fourth attempt succeeded, and NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. Musk's lesson: eliminate dependencies in your value chain even when it's uncomfortable. By controlling the supply chain, SpaceX controlled costs and set a new industry standard. Musk didn't found Tesla, but his strategic influence was pivotal. Joining as chairman and lead investor in 2004, he helped steer Tesla's early direction. The first product, the Roadster, targeted wealthy early adopters who wanted a high-performance electric car. This luxury-first approach established electric vehicles as aspirational, not sacrificial. By focusing on influential customers, Tesla built credibility and used it to fund expansion into more affordable models. Musk's strategy flipped the usual startup logic. He found the most influential market first, then scaled down to the masses. Key to Musk's approach is first principles thinking, boiling problems down to their fundamental truths. When SpaceX engineers questioned the high cost of rocket batteries, Musk reframed the problem. What do the raw materials cost? The answer revealed a massive markup, leading SpaceX to build in-house and cut costs dramatically. First principles thinking isn't just philosophical, it's a practical tool for cost reduction. Musk uses it to challenge inherited assumptions and find opportunities where others see barriers. This mindset has shaped his approach across all ventures. Musk's companies attracted top engineering talent, often people who turned down more stable jobs elsewhere. This wasn't just luck. At SpaceX, the mission-driven culture and technical challenges acted as a filter, drawing in those motivated by purpose over paychecks. In the early days, equity was speculative and salaries were below market, but the chance to solve real, complex problems was magnetic. This talent density became a competitive edge that money alone couldn't buy. For Musk, talent was as critical as capital, if not more. SpaceX's early failures were not hidden, they were published in detailed postmortems for the world to see. This transparency did something unusual. It built credibility. By openly sharing what went wrong and how they learned from it, SpaceX signaled confidence in its ability to iterate and improve. For engineers and partners, this honesty was more persuasive than a polished image of success. Musk turned public failure into trust capital, showing that transparency paired with learning can be a powerful asset for resource-constrained founders. 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX faced existential crises during the global financial meltdown. Musk had to decide which company to save with his remaining capital and chose to split it, risking both. What's significant is the synergy between his ventures. SpaceX's reputation boosted Tesla's credibility, while Tesla's public profile gave SpaceX wider relevance. These weren't isolated bets, but a mutually reinforcing portfolio. While running two near-death companies isn't a replicable strategy, the lesson is that ventures in adjacent domains can create narrative and reputational synergies that reduce risk. No analysis is complete without acknowledging timing. Musk's early ventures benefited from macro trends he didn't control. The commercialization of the internet enabled Zip2 and XCOM. While government policy shifts opened doors for SpaceX, these tailwinds didn't diminish Musk's execution, but they remind us that strategy and timing are inseparable. The real lesson: it's not just about finding inefficiencies, but doing so when external conditions make solving them possible. Timing is a skill that interacts with strategy, not something separate from it. Looking across Zip2, XCOM, PayPal, SpaceX, and Tesla, a pattern emerges. Musk consistently chose problems where the status quo was expensive by habit, not necessity. He didn't invent new industries, he executed existing ones with radically better economics. By putting his own capital on the line, he signaled conviction, changing the incentive structure for everyone involved. And by accepting public failure, he built trust through transparency. These themes connect his ventures, revealing a playbook rooted in structural thinking rather than industry selection. Musk's early choices were shaped by a relentless focus on resource allocation. Whether it was sleeping in the office to save money or investing every dollar back into new ventures, he treated capital as a tool, not a cushion. This mindset allowed him to extend his runway and survive long enough to reach viability. For founders, the lesson is clear. How you allocate resources can be as important as how much you have. Efficiency and discipline often matter more than abundance. The heart of Musk's ventures was a mission-driven culture. Employees joined not just for compensation, but to work on problems that mattered. This created a self-selecting environment where only the most committed stayed. The result was a team willing to endure uncertainty and push through setbacks. For Musk, culture wasn't just about perks or slogans, it was about aligning everyone around a shared sense of purpose. This alignment became a powerful force for innovation and resilience. Musk's journey is a story of survival through iterative learning. Each failure was a data point, not a defeat. By publishing postmortems and making adjustments, his companies improved with every setback. This approach turned the fear of failure into a process for progress. The willingness to learn in public, adapt quickly, and keep moving forward became a hallmark of Musk's leadership. For entrepreneurs, the message is clear. Survival often depends on how well you learn, not just how well you plan. Musk's early career doesn't offer a formula to copy, but it does provide a framework for thinking. The most durable lesson is to ask, what's structurally wrong with this industry, and can I fix the economics before anyone else notices? Add to that first principles: cost analysis, strategic transparency, narrative synergies, and a keen sense of timing. Musk's audacity was always in service of a structural argument, not just personality. For founders with limited resources and big ambitions, that's the most honest inheritance his journey offers.